All right. So defining vision. This is 2 pages later. In order to go where you want to go, you need a vision. Without a definite vision, you do not have a definite future. After stopping all the stories, the freed up energy is likely to get misdirected again unless you have a vision. So as you start doing this work, you free up all this energy that was once tied up with suffering. It wants to go somewhere. Um, Something similar to um, idle hands make the devil's play kind of thing. Otherwise, you are relegated to take whatever comes at you, living a life of reactivity rather than directed activity. This is a good book. Otherwise, you are relegated to take whatever comes at you, living a life of reactivity rather than directed activity. I mean, that could be a fucking class just in that sentence. What's the point of getting unstuck when tomorrow you end up back in the same spot? This is why people without vision return to being stuck. Our vision gives our creative force direction with the power of will. What is vision? Vision is the embodied future you see for yourself, those in your life, and the world. That was probably that took a long time to figure out like how to define it in just one sentence. Vision is the embodied future you see for yourself, those in your life, and the world. When you guys read this book, reread this book, assume that every word that I choose and write is for a reason. We're going to do this at some point. Um, just paragraph by paragraph in this book. It's just very, very dense. So what I mean by this is vision is the embodied, right? So keyword embodied. It's not a mental fantasy. It's not a hope and a dream outside of you. It's embodied. How do we know about this? Cinesomatics, right? We're going to be doing a workshop next month, Cinesomatic Life Map, where literally that one word embodied, whoosh, hyperlink, double click, 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 is that workshop. All right. So the embodiment of your vision is what that entire weekend workshop is about. Future, right? It's forward, it's in front of you. Your vision isn't about your past. That you see, you, your vision isn't what somebody else sees for you. Even that fucking word you. You go through this book and you actually read it to this level that I'm talking about here, you are going to get millions of dollars worth of value. I get something from it, even just reading my own book. Why? Because a lot of this came through to write it. I had to learn a lot in order to write this. So it's you. You see it, not your parents, not your partner, not the government. You. That you see for yourself, right? How's your life going to look? Who did we have? We had Danielle yesterday in the call. She talked about her vision was completely direct, uh, uh, um, aligned, oriented. Her her map was oriented around her children. So the next phrase is those in your life. So that would apply there. But the first in that order, in that order, right, was missing you, her, in the world. So we can see this at 3 layers. Your vision. Most people stop there. Well, I take that back. I stopped there. I'll speak for myself. Um, Living a very narcissistic life, living a very dysfunctional life. Everything was about how can I just get functional? How can I make enough money? How can I, right? My vision up until a few years ago was literally 95% about me and like 5% about the hot girl I would want to be with, right? This very just narrow focused, very self-centered, not necessarily narcissistic completely, but just very self-directed. Now you have to have that, right? Because you don't want to martyr yourself. You can say, "Oh, my vision is for everyone else to be happy but me." That's not going to work. Then you have the next layer, the people in your life, right? Your partner, your family, this immediate unit, your and then your community. This this localized vision. What's your vision for the people that you love? You can have a vision for them. Now, it may not be their vision for themselves, and you have to respect that. But oftentimes, if we have a very large vision, we can also see a vision for those around us and those that we love. Now, it's our vision. This is getting a little advanced here, but there's a two part in this, and it can be our projection, right? We can project what we think would be great for that person, what we would like for them. And then the more advanced one is to actually read their energy and to see what their vision is for themselves and access their true self and amplify that, which is mostly what I do for you guys, clients on the calls. I'm plugging in and feeling what your vision is deeper past your stories. And I can't see something that doesn't exist, right? So if you don't have a vision at all, I'm not going to see much, right? But I plug into that and hold that vision for you, even if you don't for yourself, right? Even if you are insecure, don't feel like you're worthy, you have your stories, you don't value yourself. So I'm holding that vision for you. I have no attachment to it. I'm not forcing it on you. I'm just holding that vision. But when that goes bad is when parents do that for their children and say, "This is what I want for your life." It's like bad news, Badgers. And then the next layer is um, of the world. This is the world, humanity as a whole. What is your vision for humanity? It's a different layer. It has a different feeling than just those that you love and know, right? So, for example, I just use this because it's a very obvious one. Elon Musk wants to take us to Mars, right? He has that vision for humanity. He's not just saying, "Oh, well, I want to just take my family to Mars." No, he wants to literally move humanity forward. You can like him or not. You can think that's a terrible idea or not. Doesn't matter. Point is, he has that vision for humanity. Um, so these are the three different sort of layers where you can make sure that you have all of those, right? As the example, if you are martyring yourself, you make sure you have to include you first. No, it's your life because every single individual person around you has their own vision for themselves. And then everyone else out in the world does as well. And so you get more advanced in this process in what is your ability to affect change through that scale, through that order. The most is yourself, right? And then it's a lot less, like, I mean, a huge fall off for those that you know and love. And then again, massive fall off for the world, humanity in general. Your ability to affect change at the scale of humanity requires you to be something much bigger, embodied energetically, than when you just affect change for your own little tiny little life. This is really great. We haven't really talked about this before. This is cool to dive into it at this level. Um, and so you can see where you're missing if you look at that. You get to see, okay, well, it's only about me. Okay, all right, well, let's add in my partner, add in my parents, my family. What does it feel like to have a vision for someone you love? Who's a parent? Right? Two parents, right? So you have an experience of a vision for your children, and their future. It's going to be very different than someone who's YOLO, right? You only live once, Glenn. You only live once. Carpe diem, right? Seize the day. Today's the day. This instant gratification culture, this disposable culture, this consumerist culture does not think about tomorrow. When you have children, I don't, but I still can imagine when you have children, you start caring about their future too, if you're not an absolute psychopath. um, so then for that even can go into the world, humanity. What kind of future of humanity in the world? What vision do you have for that for yourself and for those that you love? Because each one encompasses the prior, right? You, those you love, your community, world consciousness. You can say the world consciousness, humanity, the universe, right? You can scale up, but you guys see that picture. All right, so that was, I don't know how long that was, but that was all in one sentence. That's the amount of thought and density that when I wrote this book, I had putting in sentences like that. So I was thinking stuff like that, either consciously or subconsciously, to write that one sentence. So when I say to people, this is a good fucking book, it has, if you want to get unstuck, it's all in here in some way, somehow. You guys will be amazed. In 5 years, you're going to read this book again and say, holy shit, I had no idea any of this was in there.
We'll all be reading from Mars, Andrew.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's your vision. Vision is what pulls your future towards you. That sentence, very powerful. I didn't say it's a projection into a non-existent screen. Vision is what pulls your future towards you. So, what pulls you towards your future? It is the inevitable. Nope. Nope. It's incorrect. Very important. It is the eventual manifestation of what you stand for, who you are, how you live, and what you choose to create. Your vision is what you envision your life to look like. Your mission is your how, and your purpose is your why. Does that make sense? Your vision is what? What you want your life to look like. Your mission is your how. How are you going to do it? Right? What does that look like? You're Elon Musk. Okay, Mars. That's the vision. What's the mission? Well, create fucking rocket ships and all this shit. All right. What's your purpose? His purpose is to make us an interplanetary species because one asteroid is going to wipe humanity off of existence. So, like existential threat and probably very inspiring to do that and whatever else. So that's just an illustration of what that could look like. Vision is not to be confused with a daydream. This is why people struggle to manifest their desires. They are daydreaming, not choosing. All right, so you hear the word choose in connection with vision. Your vision is not a fantasy that you hope will happen. It's what you see when you look forward into your future. Your future is the result of your thoughts, choices, and actions. It is not later in time. It is the inevitable result of what you are embodying now. This is why next month when we do this somatic life map workshop, um, how when you do the movement, when you do the synesthetic movement, and I see what you're embodying, it is a crystal ball into the future of what's actually going to happen. It's pattern recognition. Is there some magic into it? Yes, but ultimately pattern recognition. If you're embodying it now, and this is how you're showing up now, your future comes from now. So if you just keep doing what you're doing now and how you're embodying now, it's a really safe bet that unless something catastrophic happens, this is what your life is going to be like. I can predict the future through people's body movement. Very uncanny. And anyone else can too if they knew how to do it. You can look at the past, right? You look at the past and you can see, oh, all right, that choice in the past. Sorry, I got a foot cramp all of a sudden. How someone is showing up now also lets me see their past. Say, all right, well, if you're sitting here now with low self-esteem, if you're scared, if you're anxious, I can tell you probably the things that led to that. So your vision is not out there outside of you in a time that does not exist. Your vision is found within you now. Your eyes. If you didn't have eyes now in your body, you couldn't see in front of you. When you eventually get to where you want to be, it will then be considered now. You arrive to now, the present moment. You don't arrive to the future. You never get to the future. Once you get to the future, it's now. That's why the name of the chapter is called Arriving to Now. You're not arriving to the future. And so the essence of that is to understand that it's what you're embodying here that is creating your future. It's not something you're waiting around for, and it's just gonna bink, 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 doo, 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 right? You get to change what that outcome is with every new choice that you make. How do you know what choices to make? Your vision will tell you, your mission, right? Your purpose, all that stuff.